we stand up.
I realized y'all probably heard me. What up, y'all? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm your host, A.D. Walker. Good morning, Mama McCory. Good morning, Lisa. And Rod, Jeff. Oh, she just probably because y'all folks couldn't be here. Fam is all here. Appreciate you guys for being with us. I'm trying something new, guys. I'm trying something new to get more visibility with the brothers. And I did it last night with What Up? Black J Bank in the building.
Good morning.
So I was doing BOL games last night. So I recruited some of my children's friends to come on and play a little bit. Recruited my wife as well. Kind of voluntold everybody. So some evenings I'm doing some games. So you guys I'm gonna make some games up. Of course there'll be some stuff on Friday mornings as well, but doing something a little different just to kind of drum up some attention a little bit. So just stay tuned. So if you see a notification late at night, feel free to jump in. Feel free to play along if you can as well. So I'm sure I've caught some people off guard, like what is this? I think I started at 10 o'clock last night.
Wow.
10 o'clock. Just test it out. We did it was like some Wikipedia stuff, some not really totally common knowledge. We did some Taylor Swift questions. So for all the Swifties out there. So I didn't listen. I guess because I don't follow pop like that, I'm not in the know of a lot of just general stuff happening. I mean, Taylor Swift has done some incredible stuff, in her musical journey. Like, did you know she hosted a VIP of fans to her house?
Oh, wow. No, I did not know this.
Right. I was like,
but
wow.
Did you know? Did you know?
I know
that after a relationship is over, she putting you on a song or a whole album. But go ahead.
Every time if there's especially R&B, like rap, because they ain't really talking about relationships like that. But if it's an R&B singer, man, or writer, oh man, no, their next. I get excited like, oh, their next album's gonna be fire. Just like Mary J, her next album after she went through her mess. I'm just saying, like when artist goes through some mess, oh man, they in the studio. All I got is time and tears. I'm about to wait. This is about to be.
I just know. I'm waiting for the Travis Kelce soundtrack.
Nah.
Because she did it. Yo, she did the most recent album. She went and redid. She wrote about everybody all over again. I'm like, dang, gone.
No, but you know why she did that? Y'all know why she did that? Because someone had bought her masters. They bought her masters.
I'm not sure where you guys are, but good morning.
Hey, good morning. The genius. Stay flexing.
Stay flexing.
Flexing, doing the push-ups before the broadcast. So that's why she did that.
All right.
You guys talking about Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Well, he was talking about some games he was doing. He's popping up at night, and he was going over the topics, and I sidetracked him.
I got you.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I forgot why I looked some stuff up, just stuff you didn't know about Taylor Swift, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I mean, she really worked hard to build her fan base. She really put some work in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Hey, wasn't Taylor Swift one that won the Grammy, and that's when Kanye jumped on the stage and said she?
Oh yeah.
I was always like, was it Taylor? Okay.
Oh yeah. That's what she got put in my sights. I was like, oh, wait a second. I need to pay attention to this. How
Right.
is she? How did they say her music video?
Right.
It was the best music video was better than Single Ladies.
Right.
I mean, all of us were doing this, even the guys.
Matt, that'd be the moment that her streams blew up even more because people were like, who is Taylor Swift? You know, like, thanks, Kanye. Like,
who is this? Who is this girl that reinvented the red lip? Right. Like, here you go. The red lip didn't start until Taylor Swift.
Wow. All right. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Brothers of Legacy.
This is the welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is the.
It's the welcome.
Here you go. With that, look. AD glad to have me around now. I put cream in my coffee.
That is
There's a Cinnabon creamer. That I'll be like.
I see.
It's International Delights. I think that's the brand, man. And they got the Cinnabon creamer, okay, and I was like,
Cinnabon is the flavor. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was in the market last night. I went to get a couple things and ended up filling the whole basket up. But anyway, I saw it on the shelf, and it said, "What up, L? I know it's been a minute." I was like, "Yeah, come on." I wanted to grab 4, but I already grabbed 1.
Don't be greedy, brother. Don't be greedy.
I already grabbed 1 because I got to check it in the savings.
Leave the Cinnabon for other people. All right. So he's drinking the Cinnabon coffee, and he usually drinking black. If y'all don't know, and I call people killers. You a killer if you drink straight black coffee. You was a straight killer. So,
and you see,
being here. Thank you, Matt, for hanging out with us.
I do not mind lightening my coffee, and I have 0 regrets. See what I did there? See what I did there?
See? Today, this might be a doozy. Get back, make sure you get your chair, sit back and listen. We're going to talk about overcoming or trying to at least not dwell on regrets or past decisions that has caused you to be in a space that you don't want to be in now. I'm gonna just say I know sometimes the connection from the decision made to where you're at doesn't necessarily mean that decision would have caused you to be where you're at. It just feels like that. You know, we got what we perceive as our reality. But I really wanted Matt to dig in on how to not dwell on it, how to move forward. What's up? You got something?
Okay, there's 2 things with that. I want to see how Matt takes this right here. So my occupational therapist, one of the things to get me to get better, towards my healing journey was she had me to get a tennis ball and throw it against the wall and catch it. Right, throw it against the wall and catch it. And whenever I would not catch it and drop it, because I'm really a perfectionist when it comes to sports. I'm like the best. Okay. When I would drop the ball, I would drop the ball and I say out loud, "Oh man, Larry, you suck." Right? And she caught me doing that, and she was like, "I checked your eyes are fine. I did this is fine." She was like, "You're just too hard on yourself." She was like, change that tone to, like, hey, it's okay. Try it again. Right? It's go right back at it. And then I was like, oh, okay. But wow. And then you know how I shoot pool. Whenever I lose a match, right? Because though when you're on a pool table, there's so many different decision trees at the every shot you take. All the different decision trees, and you have to pick one and commit.
Hold on, you said something interesting. I don't want to get you too off course.
Yeah,
A decision tree. You said a decision tree. All right, go ahead.
Yep. That was deliberate. Matt's going to help me here. I want to be after this. I want to be a prolific shooter in the game of pool. I have all these decision trees, and it's like, okay, if I shoot this ball, where's my cue ball going to end up? If I don't make this shot, how are my teammates going to react? If I don't make this shot, is my opponent going to run out? I'm all about, like no. Then I go, oh, Larry, you're not going to miss this shot. You're going to make this shot. It's going to work out well. Then you shoot it. Boom. It's not, right? And then, so after I don't finish the game, win or lose, win or lose, more on the losers, I'll sit back there and it looks like I'm stewing because I am, but I'm reviewing the tape of the whole match of where did I go wrong. And I'm like processing it and processing it. And some guys go, one of my teammates go, Larry, let it go.
Let it go.
After the match is over, it's over. Let's move on. Because even I'll watch them shoot and I come at them, oh man, if you did this, you're like, Larry, I don't care. It's over. Right, let it go. It's over. But no, I'm like, no, I should have did this. I should have did this, right? I'm showing traits of regrets. So, all right, man. when we lay down, I mean,
all right, start the clock. Let's. I would love to know, even before we get started, like AD, how would you define regret?
All right, I define regret.
Why is he leaving? Like, I just want to know because I want to get us, some standing definitions.
I got you. Okay. The feeling, I guess the best way to put it, feeling bad about a decision that I made. I think that's probably my best definition. Feeling bad about a decision that I made that I can't change. I regret making that decision. So I feeling horrible about horrible sometimes. Wishing I would have made a better choice about a decision that I made, if that makes sense. If that's indefinite.
Yeah, you wish you can go back on that Scantron and change your answers.
Should have put a B. Dang it. That was my second.
Scantron. When last time you heard that word, right?
It's the number 2 pencil, kid.
Right, number 2 pencils, right. What about you, Larry? How would you define regret?
So I would define it in 2 different spaces. There's like it doesn't have what's that word I'm trying to say? All right, well, I'll go with the other one. One that's like more the decision you make that's more impactful. There you go, impactful versus unimpactful, right? But the ones that are unimpactful decisions you made, like I said, shooting pool game. Oh, that's just a game. That's not dictating my life or whatever, right? But where it's when my mom told me, "Hey, go see your grandma on your way to your graduation," and I was like, the decision I made was, nope, I'm not going to do that. She has Alzheimer's. She's not going to recognize me, let alone remember this day. I'm going to go on and shoot, right? That's a life decision I made because that was the last time she would have seen me in a cap and gown. But it's more so just making a decision that you wish you could take back. Making a decision that you wish you can take back. And what I've done past that is I commit to my decision. And I don't like I do with the pool game. I'm allowed to stew in the pool game, on the life decisions I made, I don't stew on. I let it go. Like, hey, I made the decision and I'm fine with it, whatever the outcome is. So yeah, so it's making decisions that where would define regret is making a decision that I wish I could take back. That's how I would define regret.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This is one of the primary emotions that a lot of us experience, right? Regret. A lot of us live there. You know, we look backwards and feel like, "Ooh, I wish I could have." What's the expression? Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
All right. So, good
morning.
Morning, Sam. So here's another question for you, Larry and AD. Right? Could you name a benefit of regret?
Just silence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So kind of what I said is, I don't. The benefit I have about regret is when I make a decision and I commit to it, I'm a little more free of the results. So it is a freeing emotion I have. Like, hey, I made this decision and I'm cool with it, and I'm happy.
Okay, I got mine. You learn from the decision that you made that you felt with.
All right. I mean,
you don't got the gold star, man.
That's it, right? I mean, and so if we can focus on the benefit,
right,
rather than the actual emotion, then it's healthy, right? And so when go ahead, you want to read that?
Oh yeah, a benefit is Sam says a benefit is you taking more time to evaluate choices, decisions, and actions.
Right. Absolutely. So let's not put regret in a negative category or think of it as something bad. It's an acknowledgement. Right? It's an acknowledgement. You've acknowledged that some decisions from your past could have been different. If you're learning from that acknowledgement and you're making the corrections to then not repeat that, then it's something else. Maybe you shouldn't even call it regret, because regret has a negative connotation for a lot of folks.
That's what I took a while.
So what can we call it if it's not regret? If you're looking back and you're learning, then what is it?
A learning experience. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that. It could be that.
You telling us to redefine words and stuff that's in the English dictionary? Like, yo, we're not gonna call it regret.
That's in no. I'm not saying redefine it. I'm saying give it another word. Maybe it's not regret that you. Maybe it's not regret that you're experiencing.
Yes,
if you're learning from it, right? Regret. If you're not learning and you keep looking back, what happens is that emotion, then hinders you from making healthier decisions in the present.
Right.
You know. So when you're looking backwards and you're feeling regret, what does that do to your mind? You know, your conscious choices. Where does your emotion go when you're in a regretful state? You know, are you then like welcoming good things? You know, are you then ready to mingle and are you ready to be your best self in that emotion? Are you a better husband, father, employee when you're living in that space? What are you better at in the emotion of a regret, right? An emotion of regret. So if it's not benefiting you, then you have to look back and do something different. Look back and learn from it to where it's not regret. I love every decision I made because it got me here, right? And biblical truth backs it up. All things work for those who what? Finish this. All things work. Go ahead.
To those who love God and called according to His purpose.
That's it. So if that's the case, all things, that's the good and the bad, or what we define as good and bad, it's all working towards your benefit, right? And so if I'm looking back and I'm feeling like this hole in my chest, I missed that shot. Oh, right. So the next play will come and I'm not available because I'm still in the past dealing with it. And the next play isn't just like on the court or playing pool. The next play is your next move in life. Like, how do you show up with that emotion of regret? You know, you're not even present because you're like a week behind, you're like an hour behind, you're lagging, you're dragging. And so learn, what I love about AI and like, robotics of what I'm noticing is that they learn on the job, and we do it too, but it's good to see a robot make a mistake and be like, I I don't want to do that again, right? And you see it self-correct, like and do something different.
Yeah.
What is it about our consciousness that doesn't allow us to self-correct but live in that regretful state? And so I'm going to go to something that you said earlier and make that and tie it all together. You said that the Mary J. Blige album was fire after her breakup, right?
Yes.
And you said everybody was jamming to it, and so she was looking back. There was a lot of regret on and a lot of emotion that we all can get behind and relate to, right? And so regret and some of those emotions have become something that we've normalized in our experience, to say that, oh man, like we're waiting for the next thing to say, you know what, man, I wish I could, it's almost as if it's what's going to continue in our. So the point of me bringing the Mary J. Blige up and talking about her music is to say that when we are listening to those music and when we are talking about our regret and sharing it with others, we're trauma bonding, right? We're bonding over a low vibration. We're bonding over something that's probably not the best. So when you hear a song like, "Oh, I'm not gonna cry," you're like, "Yeah, man, that's me." Right? Yeah. So now you repeating that thought and emotion in your head, like I can't stand her. She broke my heart. He broke my heart. Right. In your present state. And yes, sometimes it's healthy to let that stuff go and process. But for the most part, what is it doing to us in the present? It's keeping us away from the self, from the space, from the people, from the things that we would actually want to achieve and do. Larry, if your mind stayed back there, if your partner didn't tell you, if your player didn't say, it's over, right? Leave it alone. Then the next game, you'd show up with that same idea in your mind. And then you probably would have missed enough. Like you're not in the game, right? Yeah. Athletes are told, listen, you got to be present. It doesn't matter if you missed a shot, got dunked on, got crossed over, got mossed, whatever you want to call it. You got to get back in there. You can't live in the previous
short-term memory. That's what we tell them.
Right,
short-term memory there.
And you can listen. There's a space to process certain things, if you have to. When they get too heavy, if it's super traumatic, of course, you want to process it, but you can't live in the space of then rethinking, man, what could I have done differently, right? Think about what you will be doing differently.
Dude, have you seen me on a pool table though? I am magical. I got the young guys looking up to me. I'm a beast, so I gotta make sure I live up to it.
If you're magical, then gotta keep your head up, man. And that's a part of it too.
All right.
But Rod is dropping some stuff here. He's trying to counter us using that word regret.
So his first comment, he said, "I think that's partially fine, just as long as it does not paralyze you that day, or if you're still stewing over it a month now. Man. He said, "No."
That's what I said. I'm saying, like, it's okay to process it. It's okay to feel the emotion. You don't want to run away from it. But are you going back to learn, or are you going back to then sit in that mud a little bit more? Right? What's the purpose? What's the game? And so if we're not going back to learn, I don't necessarily learn or process, meaning, having a chance to then talk about it and let it go. Did AD freeze on us? Did he?
Yeah, but here you go. This is the other thing he said, though. He was like, can't you learn from it, but regret it actually happened? Regret it specifically happened to you for you to learn? And then he goes on and says, he says, I burnt my hand by touching the stove. I learned, but I regret it took a burnt hand for me to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, you want to say, I wish I wouldn't have done that. But if that works for you, if it helps you feel a specific way, then fine. But yeah, I mean, I've already experienced it. I got, so woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's, it won't necessarily change. So now that I've learned, then I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for that experience. And that's not hard. That's not easy for us to do.
Right. So like, like you said, if my teammate don't pull me out of it, like do I sit there and stew or whatever, or breathe about it? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. It's just, I remember everything. You know how like you relate to the athletes, like when they show like LeBron or Kobe or the players after a game, they're able to give you play by play of what happened on that entire court, and like you're like, wow, they actually and like they'll like they play the film while these guys are in the locker room just talking about the game and everything to the exact minute, and that's how I see the. That's me at the pool game, and so sometimes I can be stewing. Sometimes, yes, what I'm doing is I'm going through everything and I'm learning. I'm processing it and learning. Like, okay, all right, Larry, your draw is not working anymore. So when your draw is not working, just use center ball. Or Larry, you know that's a long shot. Don't set yourself up for the long shot. Work your way around with the shorter shots, right? So yes, I am learning. I am processing it. So I called it stew, and see, this is me being hard on myself. I'm still associating negative words.
There you go. That's what I was gonna say, right? What comes up? You said something earlier about, like you said, I'm such a loser or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
I suck.
I mean, is that part of it, right? And so if that becomes a pattern of yours,
right,
and then it becomes a habit of yours, and then it becomes what you say to yourself, and then it becomes who you believe you are.
Ooh,
so
he went down a rabbit hole.
I don't regret it. I embrace it. I caught that L. Yeah, I caught it. Boom. I caught it. It was rough, but I learned from it, and then I'm not going to double back there again. What am I doing to better myself? How am I becoming accountable? Right? How am I creating accountability within? How am I learning what my capacity is? So if you're learning, regrets. Remember that guy who tattooed the wrong spelling of regrets on his neck on that movie?
yes.
What does it say? No regret.
I forgot what. I forgot.
Yeah, regrets.
Regrets. Yeah, it was no regrets. No regrets. Yeah. That's a great learning.
Oh, Jeff got a question for you.
Great.
There you go.
Matt, is there a difference between disappointment and regret?
Man, listen, I'm not the author of the English dictionary, man. I can't, I'm not going to define words like that. What I would tell you is that both of them allow you to learn, right? And they're okay to acknowledge. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want you to not feel what you feel. You can feel it, but sometimes we stay there too long, whether if it is disappointment or regret or whatever you want to call it. The point is you can acknowledge the emotion, you can process it, you can move on. But when we start to live there, start to move, bring in our furniture, and then invite people over to the regret party and, sharing that over. Well, like, what's the point of that? How is it benefiting me to then stay there and keep on repeating that thing over and over and over? Disappointment, acknowledge it. This is why I'm disappointed. How do I become accountable to create a different expectation for myself?
Right.
Or for others, So, let's not get caught up in the definition, man. I think you could define it better than me. And with your own definition, understand that if it's not a healthy state for you to be in, whether it's disappointment or regret, then don't stay there too long. Feel what you feel, learn from it. KIM, keep it moving.
I just know the Knicks, the New York Knicks management is disappointed is disappointed that they haven't regretted the decisions they made for this team.
New York Knicks.
Yeah, and that's probably every year. But you can say that for the Dolphins. You can say that for a lot of other franchises.
Right.
I'm from Miami, so we got a lot of regrets.
We got a lot of regrets.
Right.
Let's see. It said. So I don't know if you read Rod's comment. I burned my hand by touching the stove. I learned, but I regret it took a burned hand for me to learn. That's
lesson learned. You could, like I said, you can still feel it. But when you stand there, be like, man, like every other week, every time you see that thing, you be like,
right,
there you go again.
Yeah.
Right?
Never gonna use the stove again.
Man, looking at your high school yearbook, still cussing at folks.
Man.
Right. Get over it, man. Get over it. It's not a healthy state for us to be in. I'd rather be in a state of looking forward of what's coming, So yeah, it's not that I don't have any regrets. I just don't live there. You know, that's not something that I dwell on. You know, I felt it.
I got you.
Great. You know, like now, and that's not look. It's not an easy thing to do. Let me go back there, right?
Okay.
All right, let me go back.
You making it sound like, hey,
it's
like tying your shoes.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy because of how comfortable we made it to then stay there.
Right.
We got shows, movies, you know, what else? We got reality show. We got all types of stuff that then revisits the past and be like,
yeah, absolutely.
And then this is what I love. I love those commercials that come on 10 years later. Hey, did you take AstraZeneca? You're gonna regret that. You know, now it does this, that, you know, like so I think it's a common space where we go back and then we feel bad, you know, go back and feel bad instead of going back, analyzing, learning, and then growing.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's shaping us. Regret isn't something that is bad for us. If you're learning from it, then you will make better decisions moving forward.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. So I think that's my biggest
regret.
challenge.
Your biggest regret.
My biggest regret is just, you know, not sitting there. And two, I think for me, I revisit the place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may not sit in it consistently, but you have those moments that you think about it. And I'm like, and for me, I try, I'm like, man, I gotta let this go. I was like, there's nothing I can do about it. Just, you know what you need to do, you know, to try not to get back into that space. But it's like, that's probably like my biggest challenge is not to revisit that space, you know.
Put yourself there. When you put yourself there mentally, when you start thinking about whatever the decision is, right? And you start to feel that emotion of regret, right? You know, it's taking you from a space of health, right? Awareness and consciousness to a space of doubt.
Thanks, Sam.
You said what?
I said, thanks, Sam.
What did she say?
She said revisits frequently, at all the wrong times and beats yourself up.
Yeah, you know, like that's Sam's next on you, right? So honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're there, it's not benefiting you at all, right?
Right.
I like to think of it of like changing clothes, right?
Okay.
If I go outside, step in mud, change clothes, come back outside, right? And my mind is thinking about, man, you know, stepped in the right. Why would I go back and revisit that in my fresh, nice, you know, in my new state of cleanliness? Right. Why would I go bring that mud back on me again? Right. Why would I go, you know? I'm learning that. But if I go back and change clothes and I'm like, I remember it's right there. Let me walk around that. Right. Or use the other entrance, you know, like we're learning. It's not a bad thing to then go back and take that lesson. Okay. When you go back and take the emotion, the thoughts of the unhealthy thing repeating itself, then you're consequencing yourself for something that's not even present.
Yeah.
What benefit is it to you to then consequence yourself with that emotion? By the way, what I mean by that is the feeling of regret does something to you mentally, emotionally. It even changes your chemistry, meaning in regret, you're not going to get a bunch of like dopamine in your system. Like, I regret it. Yeah. Hey, you know.
Maybe I need to go there like that. Like, hey.
Right. Listen, just think of A as that dopamine train, right? Like you're getting a lot of, you know, great communication of the healthy stuff from your brain, right? When regret comes, all that stuff goes down, and it probably makes you anxious,
right?
And in your anxious, regretful state, or even angered state, sometimes you regret, you get angry, you like, ooh, I wish I could have. Let me see you, you know, like
next time,
right? I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. Well, I can't wait till, you know. Like, let that stuff go, man. Let it go. I can't carry that stuff with me because it doesn't allow me to be my best.
Absolutely.
You know. Okay. So it is a conscious thing that you must do. And what that means is that when you are revisiting
Yes.
Are you aware that that's where you are? Or are you just like out? You're not even conscious that's where you are. Only the people around you can see you in that state and be like, "Here you go again. There you go
Wow.
again, living in the past." Right?
Here
We're
you
right.
go
We're right
again.
here. We're right here. Everybody's here. We're loving you right here in the present. We have all this great energy and understanding and acceptance right now. Yeah, but you don't know how you don't know how they try me, man. Right. And that's on us, man. We,
Right,
you know,
right.
like, that's not gonna be good for me. You know, it's not gonna be good for me or the people around me. I'm missing out on real things that are happening.
Right,
You know?
right.
And
Absolutely.
so let's learn and then keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving,
Keep
you know, keep
it
it moving. And so some things are so big that we've made big
Right.
that they take way too much space in our minds and our hearts. That's when we possibly need assistance to then process that outside of what you would normally do. You probably need professional help if it's a big regret, you know.
Right. I got you.
And it's keep on haunting you. Like as soon as you think about it, your heart just start beating,
Right.
you know, and you know that's not healthy. You know, your palms start sweating, right? Your legs start sweating.
Palms are sweaty.
And before you know it,
heavy.
steam coming out your nose.
Right.
Like, who are you, man? Relax. You know?
Right.
You know, so honestly, when you give yourself a chance to see yourself in that state and understand what it's doing to you and what it's doing to the environment, and then how you're impacting the people who you care about.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think it's something that we really want to then make a habit of revisiting often. You know,
Right.
I'm learning, you know, and listen, the lessons are big and small, right? And you can feel it, but what are you learning and how are you moving on from it, growing?
Absolutely. Jeff says regret keeps you from doing the same dumb thing again. When I was younger, sometimes I needed a flame to learn. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this whole younger, shoot, I was able to jump down a whole flight of stairs.
Let's do that today, Larry.
I can't do that today. I don't know how we were built for it.
Set the camera up. I want to see.
Man,
I want to see.
I took when she came up to New York to my grandfather's with me to my grandfather's funeral.
Right.
I was taking her around the projects where I grew up at, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we was playing tag. We used to go right over here."
Right.
And I'm already had in my mind that I'm gonna do the jump. I was like, we could do this in stride. There was like a little hole in the fence. So the option was you either go through the hole in the fence and you jump down, or you just go, hey, run full speed, jump over the fence,
right,
land, and then ready for this, and then run up the stairs. Right. So I took her over there and I was like, oh, I'm not doing this.
Right.
That was 20-year-old Larry, and I was like, man, I knew better then. Right. So I didn't have to worry about having regrets. I learned my lesson right there.
There you
before I did it.
Yeah. What's next is the question you should be asking. You know, instead of what just happened. What's next? You know, what's next? AD, what's next?
I can't because I'm in the past.
Right. You know, like,
what's next? Keep asking yourself that question. What's next?
All right. What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? What's next? Right.
Well,
yeah, you regret it, but what's gonna happen next? What do you desire next?
Right.
What do you want to happen next? Right.
Do you have to regret if something went wrong if you got caught doing it? Like, for instance, so Kid Larry, we're going back to like Jeff started this. I'm going back to, you know, when I was a kid, I see a wire.
Make that jump. Right.
You touch the wire, get shocked.
I see a wire. I'm like, oh wow. I pick it up, and I'm like, what will happen if I stick both ends of this wire into this socket? Good thing I had rubber insulation in the middle.
Oh yeah.
And here you go. And it was a red wire, and it was red insulation. So I grabbed it. I stick it in, and all of a sudden I hear a pop. Now it must have been in my head. I might have got shocked temporarily, but and if you know, those who have been part of the project, like they know what a fuse box is. I did not blow a fuse, luckily. Okay. So yep. Mama Banks didn't know. Daddy Banks didn't know. I might have told my brother. I don't know if I must have kept that to my. I think that this is one of the ones I really kept until just now telling people. But nothing happened. But the lesson I learned was I know it's going to happen when I put a wire in a socket. Right. And I won't do it again. But it was like, hey, I didn't get in trouble because nothing happened to the house. So
I blew out the whole. I blew all the lights out. Mine. So you remember when you go to the circus, that thing that you spin around and got the lights and whatever that you do the thing. I took mine apart. I took the switch was like a socket thing. Like, oh, this looked like the socket joint. So like you, Larry, I had the plastic protecting me from dying with this experiment. So mine, I shoved it in there. And what? Now I'm the only child in the house. Anthony, how they know it's me? How they know it's me? So I come downstairs, evidence at the back of my hand, like what? What happened? Yeah, not a good day. Not a good day. No. Like trying to become Static Shock. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So yeah, been there, brother. Been there. Instant regret right there. Instant regret.
Yeah. And you learned.
Yeah.
You regret it, acknowledgement. I think sometimes we just put such a heavy connotation on the negative part of regret.
Right.
You're learning, keep it moving.
Learn,
keep it moving, man. What's next?
Learned. Hey, I was like, and looking back, older Larry, like now, I'm like, man, something really bad could have happened to younger Larry then. Good thing nothing didn't, right? And a good thing nothing happened to younger AD. Might have got your tail kind of tapped a couple times. I didn't, because I got away with it.
Oh, you got away with yours.
I got away with mine.
Here's a question for both of you. If there was something that you did feel regret about, that you learned a valuable lesson, and then how did you change yourself to be something different in the future?
I mastered how to use wiring.
There you go. I became an electrician, right?
Right.
But
I was smarter with my electronics. I did other things, but it didn't blow out the house.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm not talking about that one.
I figured I was adding on to what, but I know like something that you kind of learned from, that you that you grew from. I'll say the certain level of attentiveness in my relationship. That's like that I lacked, that I missed opportunities, that I don't dwell on those. I just try to do better with.
Right.
So
that's good.
Yeah. I might piggyback off of that relationships, only because I know I have a certain friend I see is watching right now of mine, and this is the beginning of our friendship. The first as part of the top 5 conversations we probably had when we first met or whatever. And I regret not giving as much respect to basketball outside of New York, like to those people from Maryland, more specifically PG County, that they knew what basketball was, they could play basketball. So I actually regret, but I learned, that hey, they got some ballers out there, and somebody knew how to rebound better than me. So I had to, I learned from that to subdue my passions. And I would right away, I said, hey, I was like, Mr. Dixon, I noticed that you rebounding better than me. Nobody else is getting the boards, but you always happen to get a rebound over me. Can you teach me what you're doing? And he was like, Larry, you're using one hand and I'm using 2. And I was like, okay. But from then on, I gave respect I gave respect to basketball outside of New York. It took a certain person from PG County to
Nice.
open my eyes. So
Yeah.
so I've yeah. So like AD said, with the relationships, and this is that was one of the best relationships I ever had. Don't start crying, Mr. Dixon. I take it back.
Here's something that I learned. Growing up in South Florida, we grew up with this mentality of not trusting folks. Like, I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you, and then we approach life that way. And so what I've learned from that is that to be open to great experiences rather than coming in with the negative mindset of not being able to trust, not being able to formulate great relationships, and missing out on opportunities. And so I'm more optimistic when it comes to the people I meet, the relationships I have, and what can come from them, rather than be like, man, I don't know you, man. I don't know you, right? Not being able to be open and trust. And so that's a big lesson for me. And that took a while for me to still, to really move away from having that mentality of like, man, my spidey senses go up for everybody. Always looking for negative in people rather than giving people the benefit of the doubt that they have good and good will come in these relationships that we're developing. So that's a learning, right? That's a great learning for a lot of us, because I think we have walls up because of those regrets.
So like that one, how'd you get past it? And should you still be able to protect yourself with putting the wall up,
Yeah, I trust myself more because I'm listening to myself, I'm listening to myself more, and I know what I want to experience. And so I bring that to the equation. I'm not waiting for somebody else to be something for me. I'm that thing,
Okay.
And so in that process of me becoming that thing, or if you want to go backwards, in that process of me living in a space of a regret, and then not trusting, I'm the person that can't be trusted because I'm not in a good space to trust, so I bring the negative that I don't desire to the equations. And so I learn how to bring something different, right? When you come in with great energy, you can't, it's undeniable, and so, but when you come in with like, and I don't know you, right? You're like, I don't want to shake his hand, or where you from, right? Like all of these things that divide us. Nah, man, you're my brother. What can I learn from you? How can I help support you? How can we grow together? And that's it. It's a different emotion too, man. My heart doesn't feel as anxious. It's not racing all the time. I'm not, expecting the shoe to drop. How this person gonna triple cross me? And I'm not doing all this math in my head about negative futures.
Wow.
Instead, what I'm doing is preparing myself to receive goodness.
Right.
And that's a work. How you prepare yourself to be in that good receiving space. Well, by clearing out, the queue, by clearing out the, what's called like the cachet, clearing it out, making sure you have room to then avail yourself for goodness. But if you're bringing, we stink up the room is what I'm saying, right? We bring that energy and we stink up the room with our, mindset of not believing in the good that's present. Right. And so, yeah, you change it, man.
Yeah, just as good point. Great point. I can bring the negative energy I'm trying to avoid. Right. Good. That's good. I think, I don't know if I've ever been untrusting. I don't know. I think maybe I was like, maybe I'm just, I side eye. I shake hands, but I'm like, I think now I'm cool until you prove that you're not, like I'm just, I'm pretty open conversating until you say something like, wow. I'm like, okay. Step back a bit.
What you're saying is true. I think a lot of us, what we don't acknowledge is that we have a hard time trusting each other.
Right.
Like even the people we know, right? Sometimes it's hard to then trust in certain areas because of regret from the past. And so we kind of cluster everybody together. And you hear it a lot in relationships. And I don't want to go to the relationship stuff today because that's going to take us on a whole other tangent, right? But you hear a lot of relationships.
I'll skip my 10 o'clock meeting for that one.
Right?
Yeah, you know what? Shoot.
But you hear it a lot in relationships, this one person did something to me. So now I don't trust none of y'all. Right? Yeah, and living in that space, you can live there for a lifetime. But man, how lonely, how sad, how miserable is that existence when you're not being open to then experience something different. If that's all you're anticipating, then you're missing out on a lot. So I want to experience something different, and I have, right? I got robbed before, right? I got, violently attacked before. And so for me, repeating those things in my head, how then can I be available to new experiences with different people in different settings? I'm not inviting that stuff to me because it's not playing in my mind over and over and over. And I'm not going out into the world with that mindset to then be, a beacon for it, like watch this person,
Right.
He almost like cueing the reality to come your way, right? Watch.
Watch. You're gonna do it again. Watch. Oh, he ain't do it today, but he gonna
watch.
Do it.
Right.
Watch.
Yeah.
Watch.
So man.
You'll never come through. Oh, now you can't come. See, what did I say? Never come through. Right.
Yeah, man. And we're teaching people by that mentality how to then relate to us, man. I want to teach people how to bless me, how to love me, how to then, come into a space and respect me, because that's what I'm bringing to the table, And so what are you expecting? Bring it. What's that show? What's that movie with the Gabrielle Union? Bring it on.
Bring it on.
It's been brought, right? It's been
already been
brought. Bring that good energy, man. Bring that good energy. Don't live in that past. Bring that good energy and high expectations. I said this the other day about, I was at a conference and I was like, I expect greatness. And the audience was like, huh?
What?
Right? And it was just like such a weird space to say that and then get a pullback reaction, mainly because I think sometimes we're expecting that shoe to drop in a lot of instances in our lives. Like, we don't believe I'm going to go outside and then it's going to be all green light. I bet you I'm going to get caught at this next light, right? Watch this person cut me off, right?
And they cut you. They cut you off. I'd be like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're not going.
Before you even get to the venue, I bet you they don't got no parking.
Right.
I'm saying, like, expect greatness, expect good things, expect good things.
Right.
It does something for me because it puts me in a different state. I am more welcoming. It's a healthier experience because my mind, my heart, my spirit is light.
Right.
It's easy. And so, those experiences are more frequent in my life because I'm not in that state of then, ruminating on the regrets, on those things that I cannot and have absolutely no control over.
Absolutely. Sam says we've been extremely blessed, but we have a tight group of folks that have shown us it's okay to trust. Absolutely. Purposeful forever. Yeah, definitely. We had to really open up that, like, because we're like, watch, they're not gonna come through. Watch, like the couples we've always known. Watch, so they have proved me wrong. And honestly, like Matt, trying to really be in a more positive state. You like having that like expectation of something bad. This ain't gonna always be good. Bad is happening. Bad is coming. Watch.
Yeah, and it's not to say that what we call bad things won't happen, right? It's not to say that they may happen, but it's to say that I'm still going to be okay.
Right.
I'm still going to be okay because this is not the full of my reality. It's just a moment. These things are passing, but we collect them and then we put them on display.
Look at all this. Look at all this. Look at it. Look at all this.
It's a trophy. It's a trophy.
Trophies of hurt.
Yeah.
What about that good in the back? Nah. Look at this hurt. Look at this hurt.
This pain, right? Let's bond over it. Let's bond over that Mary J. Blige. I'm not gonna cry. Right? I'm not gonna shed a tear. Should have left your butt a long time ago. So
I knew it.
People, Mary J gonna start seeing some credits falling into her account now. We all want to play. We want to play Not Gonna Cry today. Gonna get a bunch of plays. She was like, "Wait a second, I think I can want to again."
Listen, a lot of those songs aren't gonna go away because that's what we're feeling that, and so we welcome that, man. Like I know for sure that certain music have longevity because that's where we are. We are in pain. We are angry. We are sad. Why you think What's Going On is still playing? Brother, right? I'm trying to put my best Marvin Gaye voice.
Let's go.
There's too many of us.
Right. See?
War is not the answer, right? Come on, man. How old is that song?
Right. And it feels so relevant. Like
feels so relevant because that's the psychology of where our brains, our hearts are, right? And so if we want to experience something different, let's create something different in here,
right?
Here, and then bring that to the forefront to then show the generation after us that they can experience regret, but they don't have to make that their permanent address.
Right, you said right. 50 years. That song like 50 years old, right?
What's going on?
All right. So listen, we appreciate you guys for being here. Matt, thank you for coming through. Make sure you follow Matt Genius on all platforms. Check him out. He's has some amazing music.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Regrets.
Right? No regrets. So make sure you guys stay connected. If you're looking for some therapy, he is a licensed therapist. Just in case you're new here, he is a licensed therapist. So connect with him, set up an appointment, and get your life together. Get away from regrets. If you feel like the regrets are really, you really feel like you're having a hard time moving forward, you might need a deep dive, and Matt is the man to connect with. All right, so we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, make sure you dial 988. Also, Matt has a event coming up in September. So yes, I got it this time. We ready? Boom. September 13th through the 15th. So scan the code or go to, I think the site's on there. But if you want to connect with me as well.
What I was going to say is that there are two other Brothers of Legacy that I know for sure will be a part of this program. I know Pastor will be a part of it. I think he's going to be the keynote speaker. And I know, what's the other gentleman's name? Brother Thomas Cotton will be on there as well as a speaker as well. So what's that?
I said, I think I might be there as well. I might be there. So
there you go. Larry, you going to be there too?
Larry gonna be there too. All right,
Larry. Okay. All right. We're gonna have a good time. No regrets.
No regrets. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys.
But I'm considering cutting the beard. I might regret it once the beard is off. But then it's like, what do I do?
You're gonna be used to touching it. You were like, oh man.
You buy a fake one, Larry. You just strap it on, man.
Strap it on.
You know it. There we go.
Santa Claus, man.
There it is. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be blessed. Keep pushing. Keep growing. 988. If you or someone you love is having Christ, down 988. And as always, know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. Stay safe and make good choices. Peace out.